is the USMF entity. We try to create it a DL01 entity, which is a new entity. And for Saju, I was trying to do the Titan US, Titan India, Titan Australia, UK, UAE, 5 country implementation with the consolidation and elimination. Okay, that will be the part of the finance domain. And going further, in DL01, if I go, this is the entity created for Karthik. Okay, in the meanwhile. So for over here, if you go, we have several modules. Okay, we have different. So what we did over here is we tried to created a ledger form. This is just a repetition I'm doing. Okay, to showcase what we have done till yet. So we have utilized the shared chart of accounts. We have utilized the fiscal calendar 2024 with the account structure, accounting currency, reporting currency, and the accounts for currency evaluation. I hope this point is clear to you, and if any questions comes from here, from this particular form, you guys will be able to answer the questions, okay? If not, please do let me know. I will try to explain it in a much better way now, okay? Now coming to the part of our what we have done over here, we have posted a journal entry. So for the journal entry, you can go over here under the general the journals, and then under the journals we pass few entries. So why journal is used? General journal, there might be an interview question that okay, in the we have several journals. Why do we use general journals? Okay, so if you see, we have created few journals over here, posted journals. Okay, so one journal is created, and if I go to my T001 entity, or I think the entity in which I was doing the implementation, Saju, do you remember which entity we were working on? It was UAE, UK. Which one it
It was
was?
T4, number 4, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. So over here, if you see, if I go over here, we have few post-it journals. Okay. So what I learned from the current project is this particular general journal is utilized to fill up the balances as well. Okay. And filling up the balances of the ledgers. Okay. So this particular topic is same for both SCM and the finance, because you guys will be working with the with this particular terminologies. Okay, so what is the opening balances are there? If you go over here, I will open the OneNote first, and I will tell you one concept which is very important from the implementation point of view. So let's go to view, let's go to review, redraw, and come over here. Okay. Let me draw over here. Let's say, for example, one implementation is there. Right now, one implementation is there with me. So they have one particular entity successfully running in D360. Okay. Now this company did one acquisition. They acquired another company which has 12 legal entity or 10 legal entity. The setup, configuration, and everything will be different. Okay, means these companies where 10 legal entities were already working, they are using D365 FO specifically for last 10 years. Now what they want, they have acquired new legal entities, new company. Okay, the business remains same, the entries the remain same. So how we proceeded for it? Okay, so to proceed over it, there are few balances. Okay, it is a subset. So the first part is main account. Okay, the main account is common between these two entities. So these two entities main accounts are common. Those who are not getting my point, I will tell you over here. I will go to We'll go to USMF first. So inside the USMF, if you go, you have the general ledger. Then there is the inquiries and reports under it. This is the best report every person will utilize. Okay, all the accounting people will use this particular part, the trial balance. So this is the only trial balance in USMF right now. Not much entries have been done. So in that case, what happens is all these journals, all these ledgers needs to be, all these ledgers are exported. Then check that okay, the balances are coming or not. You guys have any idea about the opening balances? How to work on the opening balances? No?
Not much.
Okay. Do you know with the concept of opening balances?
Yes.
Okay. So what we do is in the opening balance concept, we go to one means we ask the users actually to please provide us the balances. Okay, and these balances comes with the general ledger. Means either the entries will be done means let me get one journal over here. T004. Sorry, not T001. T004. Hmm. So, for example, we want to open the balances of the accounts. Okay. So, past from the past ERP system, my client was using Tally, and now they have shifted to D365 Finance and Operations. So, what we need to do is we need to open their all the balances. Okay. When I say balances, it is actually the main accounts. Okay, which are going to utilize. So, this is a very tedious activity. First of all, okay, and under this activity, you need to pass on the entries. So general journals, which is a basic concept, if anybody asks you, there are several journals inside the system. If you go to accounts payable and you click on the invoices, there is a invoice journal. Then if you go to accounts receivable, because in my basic days, in my early days, some people have asked this particular specific question that why there are several journals are there. Okay, so there is a free text invoices. So if you see on a nuts, everything is working from one account to second account transfer. Okay, so in that case, if general journal is utilized for either ledger to ledger transaction, either ledger to customer, vendor, project, fixed assets, or bank. In a in a very basic scenario, if anybody asks you in the interview purpose that oh, what type of what type of openings you have opened inside the system, so this using this particular general journal, you can do the transaction from ledger to ledger, ledger to customer, ledger to vendor, ledger to project, or ledger to fixed assets and bank. In 95% of the case, you will use this particular part to open the general uh, main account opening balance, then customer opening balance, and then vendor opening balance. Okay, I will tell you in the practical scenario as well. Let us go to the first to set up this particular T004 for our SCM module. Okay, so what we need over here is we need a vendor. Okay, what is the SCM module? Means now once the finance part is over, what a person do? He will try to purchase something, right? This purchase is known as procurement. Under this procurement, what you do? You have your vendors, you have your item. From vendor to item, you have to do a transaction. Okay, so before doing a procurement PO, I will do few more things today, which will help you out to understand the vendor payment accounts payable model in a much better. What I will do, I will create a new vendor over here, and wherever I will get the errors while creating the vendor, please have a note of it and make a note of this particular point, because these are the questions you will get in your interview. Okay, and when while you are writing, you will also understand that. Okay, this particular concept was used for this particular reason. Okay, so I will give it a name. So let's say that the vendor name is Karthik India. Okay. Now I will add the group. I don't have the group. Why vendor group is utilized? Vendor group, if anybody asks you in an interview, you need to tell that, okay, vendor group is used for segregation of the vendors. Okay. Master data. So domestic. Use the domestic. And secondly, I will utilize the overseas. Overseas. So if you have for the overseas vendors, your terms of payment when you're going to pay them, if you want to attach over here only, you can attach over here. I will create two terms of payment over here. Please make a note of the terms of payment, why terms of payment are used. Okay, terms of payments are utilized for calculating the due date. Using this particular field, the due date of the payment will be calculated, and based on that, all the calculations will happen. Okay, means when you are paying, your payables will be your means if there are few reports based on the payables that will be utilized from here. So I will go for the 45D and 30D payment. Okay, so 45 days. Okay. Now, will only the 45 days will work? No, because you need to mention the formula. So formula is over here. You can say like this. If I say 1 month and 15 days, then 1 month also consists of 16 and 30 and 31 days, 20 days, and then you have 29 days also, or 28 days also in February month. Okay, so either you give the direct 45 over here, or if you have month basis, so you can use the month basis as over here. Only the terms of payment, we have a payment schedule. From the terms of payment, you can also manage your payment schedule. I will create one more. This can also be asked from your interview, that what is the term of payment, what is the payment schedule. Okay, so if I click on the new button, the payment schedule, let's say for example 3 or 6M, 6M, 6 months equal EMIs. Okay, allocation will be based on the total value. If there is any fixed amount, based on that also you can do. Fixed quantity, that also you can do. Specified, that also you can do. Means allocation means how your total value will be subtracted. Okay, so I want the allocation should be total. The maximum amount, the minimum amount is there. If there is any flexible plans, minimum number of installment, maximum number of installment, that also you can utilize. Means when you will create a purchase order, you can attach this particular payment schedule in it, and the value will automatically be divided into the 6 months. So I have not utilized any formula over here. Okay, but let me check. This is for total actually. What we will do, we will go for the fixed amount. uh, Specify amount. The maximum amount we can't do. Maximum quantity. So maximum quantity payment per month, fixed quantity, number of payments will be 6. If I'm creating a 6 EMIs, then I will close it, pay for the payment schedule. Changes is not specified. So change also will happen at the 6 times. So let's we save it. And after that, the installments will be paid proportionally. It will be reduced, or it will be first installment. So with that, you can define your payment schedule as well. Okay, and based on this, your whatever the amount is there, that will be divided into 6 months. Okay, and each month a journal will be created for you automatically by the system. Okay, I will save it. This is for your payment schedule, means how you want to give the payment. Okay, if in 45 days you want to create a payment schedule, then you can attach over here. But it is only a 45 days. I will take it very simple. Then there is a payment day. If you want to enable any payment day, then you can enable over here. This is payment day will be applicable for those vendors where there is a specific day of the payment only they will do. Okay, so if such type of things are there in some industry or in some government organization, this is required as well. Okay, so if you go to 45 days and for the domestic week, we need to pay via 15 days only. Okay, so what I will do, I will create a 15 day. Now I hope you guys are clear with you have make your notes there. If anybody asks you what are the terms of payments, you can give them a rough idea about it. Okay. Deleted 15. Now I will save. I will close the form, and over here I will mention the 15D. Okay, now I will save it. Time between the invoice due date and the payment date, that also you can mention that okay, based on this the due date will be calculated. If there is any default tax group, we will come back on it later on the taxation. Now if I click on the Karthik, let's say the domestic vendor for me, and then if you save it, you should see the terms of payment automatically coming up over here. Okay, so let's go over here. This is done now. Yeah, other than these, all fields are important. Okay, but we will come back on it later part. One more vendor I will create, which is Sachu. Okay, and I will come on it as a overseas vendor. I will save it. And over here, if you go, the terms of payments are 45 days. Okay, whether while it on T001 it was 30 days. Okay, so I hope this point is clear. You can now create your vendor. I will now go for the some specific functions in the accounts payables module. For the accounts payables module, if you go, once your vendor is created, you have your vendors on hold option, you have your vendors past due options, vendors who are diverse, vendor exception group, vendor groups, and supplier price tolerance groups. We will come on it later part. Okay, firstly let me show you some invoices. What are the invoice journal? If in case, why invoice journal is utilized? Invoice journal. Okay, so this invoice journal is actually your vendor. This is actually your vendor to ledger transaction majorly. Okay, so invoice journal, majorly the vendor invoice journal is utilized for this particular purpose. It can be utilized for other purpose as well, but this is the major reason why we use the vendor to ledger transaction. What I will do, I will create an invoice journal for it. Let's say, for example, you purchase some service from the vendor. In that case, you have two options. One option is you will use this particular invoice journal, or you will go ahead with the purchase order process. Okay, so I will suggest you with the purchase order process as well. I will go to the view details. I don't have any journal right now. Now here is a part that okay, you need to create a journal name also. So journal name will be VJ, or let's say IJ, vendor invoice journal. Okay. Now journal type is this is the one. Okay, vendor invoice. If there is any approval required, I will mark the approval and give it a approve. So let's say, for example, I was in, I think, finance approvers. Yes. So I will save it now. It is asking for a voucher series as well. Based on this particular voucher series, your voucher is going to be created. Okay. So what I will do, I will create a voucher series also for me, so that it will be easier for you guys to understand. Other than this, if you don't want to create a new number sequence, in that case you can go ahead with the existing number sequence generated by the system. Okay, so VIJ vendor invoice journal. Okay, go for the payment section, go for the company. Over here, it is your this number sequence will only be utilized for T004 entity. Coming to the part is company constant, and this is done. This is done. You will click on the save button. I hope now you have written in your notes that okay, how to create a number sequence and why and where the journal in on the journal number sequence this is required. Okay, what the name I have given, I forgot. Hmm, it was, I think, VIJ or IJ. Let me filter it. Vendor, VIJ. So I will save it. I will go for the new button. One thing I just, what it is saying, save it. Why then? Acha. Okay, it is used for the intercompany journal. What I will do, I will make it a VIJ, no problem. And now I will save it. It is now saved. But one thing I was just want to tell you from a business point of view that okay, this time they don't want like T004, they want something different. Okay, so instead of this constant, then you can mark it as VIJ. Okay, and click on the save button. Go back over here, and then you have your vendor invoice journal. Close this particular form. After this, save this particular form. Go for the, what happened? It is not coming. Why? This is actually VIJ should come vendor invoice. I believe vendor invoice recording. This is the one. I will save it now. It will come. So this is there. So now I got it deliberately. I made a mistake in selecting the invoice journal, the type of the invoice journal. Okay, so vendor invoice journal. So now you got the point why your journal name, the type of journal name is important, right? Because the type of journal, based on the type of journal, your journal name will come over here. There are 6 or 7 journals inside the system, but only I am seeing the vendor invoice journal because there is a filter automatically applied by the system what you have to cover. Okay, so vendor invoice journal, I will close this particular form. I will go to the lines now. So over here, I will select the vendor. So let's say, for example, from the Karthik vendor, I have a invoice date of as of today. I have an invoice of INB slash 2024 slash 009. So there is a credit amount over here. So credit amount, let's say the amount the service was of 65 650 GBP service. This service I don't want to, means and my user don't want to track the item or don't want to create the item for this particular vendor. In that case, what I will do, I will go for the ledger form. I will go for the main account, and over here I can select the ledger. Okay, so this is for service. This is for the service. Some services I have taken from my vendor. Okay, I will take the cost center. So cost center will be logistic cost center. Department will be finance department. Business unit will be, it is for IT consulting practice, and agreement. Let's leave it. Now there is the tax group or item tax group in case you want to enter the taxation as well. I don't want to add the taxation for today. Okay, simply I will try to save it. Okay, I am the maker of this particular journal. So what I will do, I will make it for the report as ready. And now once my report is ready, my manager will come and come on the approve button. In case you are not the manager, you are the maker, then in that case this particular approval process will not means they will go to his no, to his ID and he will see this particular option. Now he has approved it. We will check if there is any issues or not. We will go for the validate. We will go for the simulate posting. There are two options: validate voucher and simulate posting. This also I have got in the in my today in my current implementation. That why this, what is the difference between simulate posting and a voucher, validate voucher only. Okay, so I will tell you now. It is asking that, okay, there is a posting profile missing in the accounts payable parameter. This is the very big concept. Okay, and people will ask you in the interview for sure. Okay, so now please make a note of vendor posting profile and why it is utilized. I will go to the accounts payable modules. I will go for the setup. I will go for an option called vendor posting profile and why it is important. Okay. To both of you, whenever you are doing a transaction, right now this transaction is a vendor to ledger transaction. Why I am saying vendor to ledger transaction? If you go over here I have selected account type of vendor to whom I want, means I am creating a liability for the vendor or to pay to the vendor 650 GBP for a service I have taken. Okay, he is asking for an invoice right now. Okay, there is a difference between the invoice and the payment. Okay, so invoice is raised for the finance department. Based on this particular document, your finance team will take the action. Until and unless the invoice is not generated, your finance team will not take any step of it, over it. Okay, so we have a vendor posting profile. Now click on the new button. Okay, give it any name as per your requirement or as per your user. Okay, normally what they do is they use the gen. Okay, then they use the general. Okay, now I will save it. What they want is there are three options over here. Okay, table, group, and all. Why these are utilized? If I select the table, you only tell me what is the difference. These are the vendor account. If I go to group, you will see the group. If I select all, and boom, nothing comes up. Means based on this account code, table, group, or all, your entries are going to be parked into this particular main account. Okay, so what I will do, I will go for the group. Based on the group, 90% cases will be handled. Okay, I will go for the domestic, and there is only one account required over here from the perspective of purchase order or from the perspective of the invoicing. Okay, what I will do, so I hope my voice is clear now. Hello, anyone can confirm?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, okay, thank you. So I was coming to the part of the vendor group. Now there is a group, there is a domestic, and then there is a summary account. Okay, so what I will do, I will go for the counts. Acha, I think it is a new entity and we have not created the main account. So no problem in it. Okay. See what happened. There is one more legal entity we have configured, which is DL01. There is a difference between it. That's why I am telling you to this particular section as well. If you go over here, you are seeing a 200 to 110. main account added over here. And to check this, if you go to the general ledger module, inside the general ledger module you have a ledger form. There is a accounting main account structure which it is utilized as the service industries PS inside the DL01. Okay, and sorry, I came here for the chart of accounts. So it is shared chart of accounts which is utilized for this purpose. And when I use the shared chart of accounts, I will get all the main accounts which are related to my which are related to my accounting entries. Okay, I will go back from here, and what I will do, I will go ahead for to show you the T004 entity. T004. Okay, and I will see. You see there is a chart of accounts of Titan. Only these main accounts are there. I hope now you got the point from where your why your main accounts are not showing. Okay, only these main accounts are showing. So whichever the chart of accounts you will use, those chart of accounts only will come over here. Okay, so there is a summary account I want to create. This will go under the accounts payable. Whenever you are confused, your user will ask you. Okay, so in that case you should always have a demo running with you. Okay, a demo environment running with you. You can go ahead with your USMF entity. This is a shortcut I'm telling you in your initial days whenever you are going as a functional consultant to join over there. You also open that particular form in the standard applications. Okay, so what you will do, you will go for the vendor posting profile. Under the vendor posting profile, you will see there is a 2001 main account defined over here. The property of this main account, you can go over here, you can check over here that the property of this main account is accounts payable others. Okay, and what we will do, we will go to the view details form. And because I'm going to create a new main account over here, so you will see it is accounts payables. It comes under the liability form, and there is accounts payable account category utilized for it. Okay, similarly we will do, we have 2001 account created over here. We will go for the 2002. Okay, and then we are going for the accounts payable accounts, or you can say vendor payable. Okay. Normally, we follow the naming convention of the standard application. Accounts vendor payable. Okay. Or we can say only accounts payable is much better. Now I will close this form. I will go back. I will use the group for this group. Accounts payable. I think it is not refreshed. So 2000. How many zeros? 4 zeros are there. Then 2 I have created, not 3. I have created the 2. It is now saved. Okay, similarly for another group, you can have your separate main account, or if you want to track in the same main account, then also you can utilize the same. Okay, so here also the form is not refreshed, so it is not showing you, but it will save. Okay, so this is the one. Now save it. I hope my point is clear to you. Now you can ask your, means you can give it to answer in your interview. Okay, what is a vendor posting profile? Vendor posting profile, you should visualize that in that way that okay, there is a group, means vendor group, and there is a main account section over here. Vendor posting profile or any posting profile in the system will link your group with your main accounts. Okay, I will close this. Once I close this form, now if I go to the vendor invoice journal, I will go for the validate, and I will do the simulate posting first. There are few types of errors which a simulate posting cannot pick, and there are few types of errors which validate function cannot pick. Okay, so it is asking that okay, vendor posting profile has not been set up in the accounts payable parameters. So I will go to the accounts payables parameters over here. Inside the accounts payable parameters, you will go to the ledger and tax group, and there is a posting profile option enabled. You will go for the general. Okay. So under it, there are few more important points on this particular form, which I want to tell you. One is your under the general tab, you need to ask your user that the product receipt, when you are doing a product receipt, where your ledger should go. Okay, means it should go to the entries, the financial entries should be passed in the ledger or not. Okay, so in that case, you are going to utilize the post product receipt. Okay, I will show you the impact of it. No problem. Just be with me. Just note, make a note of it on the accounts payable parameter. What are the booleans you have to enable? Then second thing is your posting profile. From here only you need to mention your vendor prepayment journal. You know what is prepayment? In case there is some advance needs to be given to the vendor, in that case you can utilize the prepayment. I will add the same, but in case of the real-time implementation, if you go over here, I will close this particular form. You see the prepayment is another journal they have created, another posting profile, sorry, another vendor posting profile they have created, where they are saying that whenever a vendor is coming from the 40 group number 40, it should be parked in this particular main account. And if they are parking, if for all other vendors, it should park in this summary account. Other than this, liquidity accounts for payment, tax prepayments, we will see it in a later stage. Okay, right now I am focusing on a minimal configuration for one particular process. Okay, please make a note of it that okay, what process we are doing today. We are doing a vendor invoice journal process, a complete cycle of vendor invoice journal. Okay, so in this way you will be able to track down your what are the options you can do in your application. Okay, I will suggest you to make a note like this, that because the basic setups are now completed, either it comes from SCM or it comes from finance or it comes to transportation management. Now your note should be like this: to do this particular process. So you need to know, remember the process name. Okay, what is the reason for this particular process? Why we are doing this particular process? And the steps of this particular process. What is the steps of this particular process? Then you need to write down the configurations required in this particular process. Configuration, after the configuration is created, you need to mention the accounts. Okay, what are the accounts that has accounts that hit this particular main accounts. Okay, so these your notes should be like this, created for you. And when you are giving your interview also, please use this format. Okay, why it is utilized, what is the step, what are the main accounts that are impacted by it. Okay, because in that way you will be able to understand the process, you will be able to understand the reason of this, you will be able to understand the steps and configuration account. Okay, so I will tell you what process I am going to do. It will help you to make a notes and to remember also. Where the process is VIJ, vendor invoice journal. Why it is utilized? It is utilized to vendor to ledger transaction. Majorly the service, tracking the services journal. So right now, what example I have done, I am taking is from Karthik. I have taken a service. Okay, from Karthik, I have taken a service of, let's say, for example, he is in the consulting business. Okay, and for my end user, I want to do a training. Okay, so in that case, the Karthik has from the Karthik, we are asking to Karthik is a vendor over here. Okay, so what I'm asking from the Karthik help is to do some consulting for my team members. Okay, for in this particular T001, T004 entity, we want some training to be given to my end users. Okay, so this service cost me 650 GBP. Okay, so this is my reason of this particular vendor invoice. Then the steps we are following, we have created a journal, we have added the ledger, we have added the main accounts, and now we have posted it. Okay, after the configuration, we need to do the AP configuration, we need to do the group configuration, we need to do the vendor posting profile configuration. Then the accounts, what are the accounts that got hit? It is a vendor to ledger. I hope with these 5 points you will be able to give the final answer to your vendor to your interviewer whenever you are going for the interview. So this is done. Now I will go for the vendor invoice journal again. I will go for the validate and then I will go for the simulate. So it is giving me one more error over here. I will go for the message details. I will say, I will ask that, okay, you are giving me error. What is the error over here? Please specify the current language. That's fine because on the vendor form, I have not updated the language. I will update it right away. And then there is a select a value in the cost field. Why it is showing me the error? Because if you go to the T004 entity, if you go to the general ledger module, you go to the ledger module. Over here, there is a Titan account structure utilized. There is a star marked at the cost center department business unit. Okay. Let's say, for example, you don't want to enter the department for all the entries. In that case, you can just select over here. You can click on the allow blank account over here. Okay. But right now, I want to enter this particular point. So what I will do, I will add the agreement is, I believe, is blank always. You will go to the business unit. The business unit is IT consulting. Cost center is service operations. Department is operations. Then I will count out. I will close this particular form and now I will do the again the simulate posting. It is asking the journal is in approved status, cannot be modified. So in that case, I need to ask my manager that, okay, please reject this particular journal. Okay, let me firstly save it or refresh it. Now it is refreshed. I will go to the line. Over here, I will have my Karthik to ledger account, and over here, I will go for the validate and simulate posting. Or sorry, yaar, that rejection is required, right? Well, that will give me error. Yes. So I will close it. Close it. I will check if I can reject it. Now it is rejected. I can make a edit on it. Okay, so I will go to the accounts level. I will select the business unit. Let's say IT consulting. Cost center is my logistics cost center. It is going under the finance department. I will close it. So let's say this is 650 GBP. Now what I will do, I will go for the validate portion again. Okay, simulate posting. It is giving me a warning that, okay, specify the current text in current language. Why it is utilized, I will tell you. Okay, see. Just tell me where is the language field over here. 1 second. In the general only, the language should come. Language down. Go for the cash account. Go for the fixed asset history, maintenance. Go back. And over here, general tab, language, language. We have not seen language over here, right? So from where it is picking up, for that we need to go to the line section. We need to go to the vendors, go to the view details. Over here, you will go for the language. So this is the language defined. I think it has not picked up in that way. So that's why I will close this particular form and I will go for the approval now. Report is ready. My manager can see that okay, it is okay. Approve it. And then what I will do, I will go for this post button now. I will try to post a vendor invoice. Okay, so it is asking that okay, specify the current text language, but it has posted it. Okay, now my vendor invoice journal is created. What happened at the ledger level? You go, to check anything like this. You need to go for the trial balance. Okay, so go to the general ledger, go to the inquiries and report, check the trial balance. Just calculate it. If you see there is operation completed and you see that okay, the accounts payable is now hit with a 650 GBP. The reporting currency was in INR, I believe. That's why it is showing 7161,669. That is liability created for us now, accounts payable. Okay. Now what I will do, you will go for the payment part. This is the invoicing part. Okay. Now my accounts payable team has a payment section also. So the accounts payable, accounts vendor payment journal, I will click on the new button over here. Over here, I will select the main account. Now again, the journal name is not there. What we need to do? This is the second process I am doing right now. So now your notes for this vendor invoice journal is completed. Again, make these 5 key points. Okay, for vendor payment now. This particular journal, okay, now I need to pay to this vendor. Impact of this vendor invoice journal is a liability is created. Now the liability needs to be reduced. For that we need a separate journal. I will go to the view details form. Under the view details form, you will click on the new button and vendor vendor payment. So VP, vendor payment. Now the journal type should be vendor disbursement. Okay, so close it. Now go for the voucher series. Again, I will create a new number sequence for it. Else, okay, one I have already created, right? What is the impact when we will see this one? Let's see if there is vendor. No, not this. Let's say pay. Yes. So I will use this one. See what happens over here. Click on the save button and now I will close it. I want approval workflow as well. For this, all the finance one or this one, I want this workflow. Okay, so finance approvers will be able to approve it. Click on the save button, go to the new section. There is a vendor payment. Go to the line. Now coming over here is your vendor, which we are going to select Karthik. Now, if you can see, there is a linking between these two. Okay, means the payment for which we are doing the payment. Why we are doing the payment? In that case, you'd have a settle transaction option. This is the invoice is created for 650, right? And once this particular invoice is created, we can mark it, we can click on OK. There can be one scenario, you can make a note of it. In case the partial payment is need to be done, not the full payment, then in that case, on the settle transaction only, after marking it, you can update your amount to settle. Okay. So let's say, for example, I want to settle only 300 right now. Okay. 350 is my liability for now. Okay. I will click on the and click on the yes button because it is making changes. Now from where we want to pay? We want to pay it from the banking sector. I will go for the offset account, HSBC London, and I will save it. Now I hope the point is clear to you that okay, my payment is going to be over here. Now go for the simulate posting option. Under the message details, you will see you must select a cost center. So all these things we need to select over here. So for that, you can go ahead and select the financial dimensions, go for the offset account. Under the offset account, select the business unit, IT consulting practice, cost center is logistics, and the department who is going to pay the finance department. I hope you are clear about it, why the financial dimensions are used inside the system. If not, just be with me for 5 minutes. This question will be answered to you, and I hope you will make a note of it. I will close this particular form. I will again validate it. So over here you see the again a error message is coming up where you need to select the cost center, okay, and the main account 2002, which is the main account. This is a payables main account. So what we will do, we will go for the financial dimensions. We will go for the account section over here. Under the account, I will select the business unit, IT consulting practice. I will select the cost center, production. I will select the department as finance department. Okay. Deliberately, I have used the separate cost center if you are curious about it, because you can select any value in it, but that should be relevant to your business. Okay. And why the financial dimensions are utilized, I will tell you in the coming 5 minutes. So my vendor is now paid. Okay. Now if you run the trial balance, go to the trial balance. Earlier the payables was 650. Now the payable should be 350 because we have only paid 300. So see about this particular accounts payable is now 350 from the bank. We have paid. Why it is 650 only? 1 minute. Let me check. 2000. Is it not posted? I think I have not posted it yet. Let me go to the accounts payable modules again. I will go to the vendor payment journal. Okay, it is not posted right now. So before posting, there will be no impact on the ledger side. Okay, so what I will do, I will go for the approval process. Report is ready. I will approve it. This particular process will be used by my manager. I will click on the post button. Now my operation is completed. Okay, now again I will go for the general ledger module. I will go for the trial balance. Again the trial balance, I will click on the calculate balances. 350 is remaining. Okay, this is the total debit, this is the total credit. Okay, so accounts payable is now left out is 350. If you want to see how this credit is 950, you can go over here. There are two credit happened over here in it. Okay, so total credit is 650, then 300 credit, and total debit is 600. Okay, So 600 minus 950 will give you the 350 balance. And majorly, you will see only this particular account where you can see that four entries are created. One is minus 650, which is, and then 300, 300. A settlement entry is created, and then a 300. So settlement will create a separate ledger accounts for you. Okay. Now, this settlement where you can see. Firstly, let me tell you one question over here. Go to the parameters form, you go to the main accounts form, you go to the let's run it based on the department. So now here your answer is why your financial dimensions are utilized. So based on those financial dimensions, you will be able to see your balances as well. Right now, the finance department has total amount of closing balance 48,000 as of today. Your operations has credit 50,000. Okay, and then you have a human resource and the legal, mean these are the activities done. Okay, so for each department what activity is done, that also can be tracked by the financial dimensions. That's the reason why financial dimensions are utilized. So at a broader level, this is the main account which will help you out. Then going further, the after the main accounts, you will the second help will be against a financial dimensions also. You can run your trial. This trial balance you can right now export it. You can click on the close button now. Now I was telling you one more question over here. What was that? Ah, so I will shall tell you, if you go to the accounts payable, all vendors, you go to the Karthik vendor, you go to the vendor form and check the transactions. There are few entries created over it. One is your this is your invoice journal entry. All these are your payment entries. And if you see, it is not okay, right? This journal is not okay. Over here, we can see that, okay, this is vendor invoice journal, but over here, we cannot identify, right? To identify this, you need to either click on the status, it is invoice, okay, or you can add few fields as well. Now, why I came over here is to tell you the concept of settlement, okay. So vendor invoice journal, linking of this vendor invoice journal with the settlement, linking of this vendor invoice journal with vendor payment. Vendor invoice journal was created for 650, but the payment was done for 350, where I can see this particular part. So to see this particular part, you will see that, okay, there is a balance left out for the vendor. For this particular invoice journal, there is a 350 left for the vendor to pay. If you go to the settlement screen, you will go to the, or you can go for the settlement history better. So against the settlement history, this particular only one line is coming up. Okay, amount settled is 300. If you go back, you check the view settlement. So this is the view settlement. It is showing that, okay, the payment was done for 300. Invoice journal is created for 650. I will click OK. I will select this particular line, which is the vendor invoice journal line. I will go for the view settlement now. So 300 is the settlement, but the document amount was 650, right? And 300 is given to the vendor, 350 is left out. Okay. You can also use the settlement over here, settle the transaction if you want. So click on the mark button. Okay, and right now the posting button is not enabled. Why? The posted the pay the settlement has not happened yet. Okay, cancel it, or 1 second. Let me go again to the settle transaction. Mark over it. I will check the today's date. Okay. Now again, this particular 350 is left out, okay, which is not paid. That's why you're not able to view the settlement. Okay, I hope my point is clear to you why we are coming on the settlement part, because there should all the invoices should be linked with their payment. Against what this payment was done, this particular process of settlement is utilized. What I will do, I will create a one more vendor payment journal over here. Vendor payment journal. Vendor payment journal. I will click on the new button. I will go to the name, vendor payment, and then go for the line section. Under the lines, I will go for the Karthik. I will save it, go for the settle transaction. Once I go for the settle transaction, I will mark it fully now. I will click on the now from where I am going to pay my vendor. So I will go for the bank. Acha, one more thing I will tell you over here. I will delete this particular line now. That is asking another user has modified it. Okay, let's do one thing. In that case, you can press what system is saying, Control Shift F5, which is a soft refresh. Okay, and then you can use the delete option. It is deleted, close it. I will tell you one thing over here. For this particular journal, if you go, there is a financial dimensions tab over here. You do one thing, you add the business unit over here only, IT consulting. You add the cost center, service operations. You add the show IT department. You will click on the save button. You will go to the line section. Over here, you will select the vendor Karthik India Private Limited. Then we will go for the uh, directly amount we can pay. I don't want to pay the direct amount. I will go for the settle transactions. I will go for the mark option. I will click on the OK button. Okay. Then what we will do, we will refresh this particular form. Go for the bank. Go for the offset account. HSBC. Click on the save button. And now if you see, the financial dimension should be copied automatically. See, it is copied right. And also I will see in the offset account, it is copied also. So from one form only, you will be able to have all your financial dimensions copied. Okay. Now I will go for the validate option, validate voucher only. Then we will go for the report as ready. We will go for the approval process. We will go for the post. This is now done. Let's go again to the vendor transaction. Go for the all vendors. Select the vendor. Go for the transactions. Here see one more entry has been created for 350, 350 each. Okay, and the balance of this particular journal is 0 now. This is now completely settled. You can go for the view settlement area over here, and you can see that okay, 650 and 300, 300, two payments are there. Okay, you can see the transaction type, two payments are done over here of 300 and 350 each. Now again one more query can come up over here that okay, show us the total balance of the vendor. So you can click on over here. You can check that okay, the current balance is 0. There is no payables for this particular vendor. If you want to see the invoices, you can see how many invoices are created for this particular vendor over here. So this is the now I will close this particular form. I will go to the bank accounts. If there is any bank account link with the Karthik, so we can add over here. I will add a bank account. Let's say Karthik is a domestic vendor. So there is a ICICI Bank. And over here, there is the account number. So we will enter the bank account number of Karthik. Then there is a SWIFT code, IBAN code, which is related to your different formats. Okay, means if in case the integration is utilized and SWIFT code needs to be sent to the bank, in that case you can utilize it. Okay, we have a setup, we have a text code, we have a message account, cross rate, exchange rate that you can use. You have a pre-notes as well, means it's on this pre-notes against a vendor bank account. You can manage all the conditions of your bank over here. Okay, means for Karthik, which to which bank we need to pay. Okay, so This is just for information purpose. At the ledger level, no entry will be created for the vendor bank account. Okay. Company's bank account, yes, but for the vendor bank or the customer bank, no entry will be created. This is for informational purpose. Basically, we have utilized for the integration purpose over. Okay. Now what I will do, I will close this particular form. I have told you that how to check the transactions of the vendor, how to check the balance of the transactions, how your settlement entry is linked. Okay, so I will go to the transactions now again, and I will go for the view settlement of this particular invoice. Okay, so 650 300 300, the balance is now 0. In case you want to do the settlement, then you can go for the settled transactions as well. Means view settlement, here you can view all the settlement, then here is a settled transaction. So there is no transaction to be settled right now for this particular invoice. You can go for the settlement history, where you can see all your settlement history of it. Okay, 650 and 350 is now paid while against this particular invoice. Okay, similarly, if you go to this particular entry, 1 second, sorry, and you go to the view settlement, you will see the entries from where it is settled. Okay, so I hope things are clear to you now. And if you want to open the original document of it, you will see the original document options over here, where you can find out that okay, the voucher is created, one is a purchase invoice created. Okay, the journal, if you mean system is will automatically create an invoice journal, purchase invoice is created. Okay, type of purchase invoice, and then you can click on the view details and you can come to the original entry. Okay, this will be utilized for any reversal purpose. In case you want to do a reversal, you can click on the functions button. Sorry, not functions, go to the inquiries. You can do a reversal from directly from the vendor payment option. Okay, not from here. I will close it. I will go for closure of it. Then we have a open details of it. Okay, open transaction, if there is any open transaction, that will come over here. You have a reversal over here, you can do the reversal because it is fully paid, the invoice is fully paid. Why you want to do a reversal? If you want to do a reversal, you need to select the payment, which payment you want to reverse it. If I click over here, if you I will go for the reversing section. Okay, means reversal is utilized for any means if there is any mistake happened from the user, in that case he can utilize the reverse option. Okay, so I hope things are clear to you over here. One last topic from the vendor payment section I want to cover is then there is a global invoice journal. It is utilized for different country, different company, to post in a different company. You now go to your system, create an invoice journal, use all these options. What are the open invoices coming up? What are the vendor invoices due today? So these options you need to tell to your end user. Now coming to the part is, tomorrow when we will meet, I will tell you the concept of invoice register, invoice pool, invoice approval. Okay, then finally we will move to our purchase order, where we will create a purchase order, we will create an item, and then we will post the item and check the ledgers of the vendor. Okay, and after that we will come to the last option of brokers and royalty. So that also we are going to cover under the brokers and royalty topic. Okay, so I hope things are now clear to you, and you guys can now work on it, and let me know if in case any doubt is there. We will tomorrow start with our invoice register pool approval, and then we will go for the again for the purchase order, and then while creating the purchase order we will move on to our product information management module as well, where for Karthik, I think 5 classes has happened, and there we have created the item group, item model group also. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today.